New York Knicks forward Mikal Bridges has agreed to a 4-year, $150 million contract extension with the franchise, according to our senior insider, Shams Charania. Now, the deal includes a player option for the 2029-30 season and a trade kicker for the Ironman forward who turns 39 this month, because it is officially August. As we say hello to our friend Shams Charania, who joins us with more. Shams, this contract for the 29-year-old, it may have the biggest question. It may have been the biggest question hanging over the Knicks this offseason. So how exactly did they answer it here?
Malika, so Mikal Bridges is taking about $6 million less than his maximum contract. So a slight discount, and it's much less than he was set to make potentially as a free agent in 2026. So before he could get to free agency, the sides lock in this deal that now secures his future there. So $150 million deal. And the biggest thing here is now Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, the last couple off seasons have taken discounts less than the max deal that allows the Knicks to stay under the second apron, continue to build a roster, and have flexibility in doing so. And Mikal Bridges, the most durable player in the NBA, guards all the top all-star caliber players around the league on a nightly basis. And so this is a Knicks team that now has Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Karl-Anthony Towns, all locked in. They've got their top 5 players all locked in for the foreseeable future. $726 million total between these 5 players. And Mikal Bridges had the biggest questions. What would his future be moving forward? He did have an up and down year at times. So for him to lock in $150 million, he is now off the board. As well as Jalen Brunson. Those are obviously 2 guys that have had major extensions the last 2 years. And an interesting wrinkle, Malika, Mikal Bridges is now ineligible to be traded for the next 6 months. He is off the board. So if there is a major move around the league the next several months, and if the Knicks are involved, Mikal Bridges will not be involved in that.
Shams, I'm not very good at math, but by my math, not eligible to be traded for 6 months. The trade deadline, it is 6 months and 5 days away. So maybe not for the next couple of months, but it's not off the board for the entire season. Shams, as always, we appreciate the insight. We will be standing by for any potential news that comes down the pipeline. One thing that Shams mentioned about Mikal Bridges, the dude brings a whole lot to the table. He mentioned him being an Iron Man. Well, that streak continued last season. He led the league in minutes for the 3rd time in the last 4 seasons, and he still hasn't missed a game ever in his entire NBA career. And after shooting just 57% around the rim in his last season with Brooklyn, Bridges shot 74% on those same shots in the 2024-25 season, second best in the NBA, behind only Jared Allen, according to Genius IQ. Now, Bridges also ranked 2nd in the NBA in the most fadeaway jumpers, made fadeaways, that is, behind the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But actually, Bridges had a better field goal percentage than SGA on those fadeaway jumpers when they were heavily contested. Also, according to Genius IQ, Bridges lived up to his reputation as that lockdown defender, was one of just 6 players to take at least 1,000 half-court matchups against players to make last year's All-Star game. So, Ahmad, clearly he brings so much to the table here. I don't know that we saw the best from Mikal Bridges when you look at his entire season last year for the New York Knicks. Obviously, you think of those big blocks he had against the Boston Celtics, but how can the Knicks maximize him?
When you talk about maximizing a guy that plays on the wing, it always essentially comes down to, one, what you're doing on the defensive end, and then what your point guard is willing to do as far as early on in the shot clock for you, right? So making somebody like Mikal Bridges dangerous is getting him out in transition for pitch ahead so that he can be creative, he can get out there on the floor, enjoy himself. That's what gets you smiling, that's what gets you confident, and that's what starts making shots fall down for you. When you talk about a streaky shooter, making him a streaky shooter is when you give him less touches and expect more efficiency out of him. When you make sure everything's easy, you get out and pitch it ahead, you make sure he's playing in transition, you keep Mikal Bridges happy, and I think that's up to Jalen Brunson.
Did they find something, though, when Jalen Brunson was out of the lineup? In those 15 games that he missed, Bridges averaged over 20 points a game. So now with Bridges back and Bridges back, and Jalen Brunson back in the lineup, they're going to have to find that magic while they're both out there.
Well, Mike Brown's in this lineup, too.
Yeah.
And I think Mikal, if he's being honest, probably wasn't happy with how he's been used offensively since he's been with the Knicks. I'm not speaking for him, just my guess. This is the lowest points per game and shots taken since he was in Phoenix. But now Mike Brown is known for his fast play when he was with Sacramento.
Yeah.
22-23 season. They led the league in offensive rating and scoring. I expect the Knicks to play faster than Mike Brown, which should complement Mikal Bridges and his strengths.
Look, I think they're going to play faster than they did last year, but they don't have De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is the guy who made them play fast, right? And so I think they're going to change a little bit. One of the reasons why they wanted to make a change at coach was because there just wasn't enough versatility in that offense. Like, teams would throw a defense at them, and they didn't have enough adaptability. And so you see things like where Jalen Brunson is out, and then Mikal Bridges comes in and has an elevation, but when they're together, they're not able to necessarily lean on each other quite as much. Mike Brown's going to be tasked with making everyone better and having some versatility and optionality in how they play off.
And Tibbs did have him 5th in offensive rating last year, so they did move the ball. Not Fox, but they do push it.
Yeah, and I think the issue for the Knicks is they gave up a lot to get Bridges, 5 first-round draft picks. And so, Shams, he said, he took a little bit less so they can stay under the second apron. They still have to re-sign. They still have to decide how they're going to get Mitchell Robinson back and Karl Anthony Towns back. That's going to be some interesting salary cap management to stay under there and keep flexibility. But it wasn't that much less. Like, I actually thought his agents did very well in this contract.
Without a doubt. I just know that when it comes down to it, it's all about playing with your toys. We can't hear Andy's coming and everybody just fall on the floor right now. It's got to be that thing that...
That's like Toy Story reference.
Exactly. When we're all on the court together, he knows how to play with his toys.
Yep.
As much as we love Jalen Brunson, I think his usage has to go down a little bit for those guys to flourish. And if you want the most production out of somebody, you got to play with your toys.
Increased ball movement is going to help with that under their new coaching staff here.
Yep.
But I'm curious how much Brunson is going to have the ball in his hands next year, if that's something that we could maybe see adjusted.
Exactly. It could be adjusted. We don't want it to happen at the wrong times. I think you still want him to be who he is, right? You have to be ball dominant sometimes to get a lot of things done that you have to do in the league. But when you say pick your spots, we're talking about fourth quarter time to do that. Throughout the game, you can make sure you share the sugar a little bit more, and I think it has to be a conscious thing for Jalen Brunson. It can't be one of those things where the game's coming to him. Sometimes it goes against your personal what you have going on, but you know these things, I'm sacrificing just a little bit for you guys. I might not sacrifice millions.
Which he did. He made sure to sacrifice a couple just to make sure everyone could sign.
Without a doubt, but it's one of those things where it's easier to make sure to say, hey man, I'm gonna let you have this, I'm gonna let y'all have that. We can all still get our numbers. We can all still have a rhythm toward the end of the game. But at the end of the game, you guys know I'm gonna have to have the ball in my hands a little bit more, but I'm gonna make sure we get across the finish line.
And you know the thing that cures everything is winning, right? And the Knicks, they believe in Bridges enough to invest $150 million. The odds makers, they believe in New York as well, because outside of the Thunder, the Knicks have the best 2026 title odds as the calendar turns to August. Do you, Mark, see New York as the biggest threat to OKC? Tough lights.
I mean, I guess they're the biggest threat because they'd be coming out of the East. That's why. I do think their team is better. You know,